Alright, Habibi gang, welcome back to Pundit Habibi. Another Premier League Saturday is done and dusted. Match day 16. And let me tell you, it was a wild one. Absolutely wild. This Saturday had everything. Upsets, comebacks, drama, you name it. I'm still buzzing from some of these results. I mean, who predicted Ipswich would take down Wolves at Molineux? Not me. That was a shocker and a half. And we have to talk about Arsenal dropping points again. So before we get into all the juicy details, let's quickly run down through the matches we're going to break down today. We've got Arsenal's frustrating draw with Everton, Liverpool's 10-man battle against Fulham, Newcastle cruising past Leicester, that Ipswich upset we just talked about, and Nottingham Forest climbing up to 4th place after beating Aston Villa. So before we begin dissecting Premier League Saturday, I want to take a moment to remind my listeners, my Habibi gang, to hit that subscribe button. Come on and join the official Habibi gang. So let's start with that Ipswich shocker, shall we? Wolves versus Ipswich. I mean, on paper, this looked like a pretty straightforward win for the Wolves, right? They've got the Premier League experience. They're playing at home. You'd think so, but as we all know, in the Premier League, anything can happen, and it did. Ipswich took it to them. A late winner from Taylor sent the Tractor Boys fans into a frenzy. And Wolves, well, let's just say O'Neill has got a lot to think about. The pressure is on. Now, it all started with that hilarious own goal from Doherty. You could almost feel the tension building at Molineux after that. Wolves are usually so solid at the back, but they look shaky all game. And Ipswich capitalized on that. They grew in confidence with every minute. And that late winner was the icing on the cake. What was really interesting was McKenna's post-match interview. He actually compared the winning goal to Solskjaer's famous Champions League winner back in '99. Talk about bold, but you can kind of see where he's coming from. Late, dramatic winner. Massive celebration. It's got that same energy. For Ipswich, this could be a turning point in their season. You know that feeling when a team gets a big result and suddenly everything clicks? Momentum, baby. For Wolves, though, it's another setback in what has been a tough start. O'Neill is under pressure. The fans are getting restless. This result might just be the catalyst for some big changes. From heroes to heartbreakers. Let's shift gears now and head over to the Emirates, where Arsenal hosted Everton, a match with huge title race implications. I mean, huge. Arsenal were desperate for a win after 2 consecutive draws. They needed to keep pace with Liverpool at the top. And they were facing a Sean Dyche Everton, a team that's notoriously tough to break down. You know, I'm starting to think Sean Dyche is like some sort of defensive mastermind. He's got this blueprint for stifling attacking teams. He really does. And it worked wonders against Arsenal. They were so organized, so disciplined at the back. They frustrated Arsenal's usual flowing attacking style. And the result? Another frustrating draw for Arsenal, 0-0. Third game in a row. They couldn't find the back of the net from open play. Arteta even talked about missing a spark after the match. I think he's talking about that creativity in the final third. That bit of magic that unlocks defenses. You know, Arsenal have built their success this season on their slick passing, intricate movements. But against Everton, that was definitely missing. They just couldn't break through. Dyche had them figured out. He had his team set up perfectly, blocking passing lanes, doubling upon key players like Saka and Odegaard. It was a tactical masterclass. And let's not forget about Jordan Pickford. He was immense, made some crucial saves, especially that double save from Martinelli and Canadi. A vintage Pickford performance full of athleticism and a bit of drama too. He loves a good performance against the big teams. Okay, so I'm seeing a pattern here. Are you? Everton were organized, defensively frustrated. Arsenal with their physicality, tactical fouls. Pickford stood on his head. Is this just a blip for Arsenal, or is this a sign of something more worrying? I mean, the title race is heating up. Can they afford to drop points like this? That is the question, isn't it? The margins for error at the top are tiny. Every dropped point is a blow, especially when your rivals are winning. This draw leaves Arsenal 4 points behind Liverpool. The pressure is on Arteta and his team to find their form again. From a goalless draw to a goal fest, right? Let's move on to Anfield, where Liverpool faced Fulham. And what a game this was. Early red card, 2 Fulham goals, a late Liverpool equalizer. Pure Premier League drama. Drama at its finest. It all started with that red card for Robertson, just 17 minutes into the match, for denying a clear goal scoring opportunity. Liverpool were already missing key players through injuries, and then this. I mean, down to 10 men against a well-organized Fulham side. Things were looking bleak. Honestly, I thought this was game over, but as we all know, you can never count Liverpool out, especially at Anfield. And they proved that once again. They fought back with everything they had and managed to salvage a 2-2 draw, thanks to a late goal from the returning hero, Diogo Jota. The Anfield roar when that goal went in was something special. Talk about a gutsy performance. I mean, Fulham took the lead twice. First through Pereira in the 16th minute, and then again through substitute Nunes in the 72nd minute. But Liverpool just wouldn't quit. It was a testament to their resilience and their never-say-die attitude. They kept creating chances and ultimately got their reward. I would say Arne Slot's technical chances after the red card were spot on. He bought on Jota, who had just returned from an injury, and tweaked the formation to maintain a solid defensive structure while still posing an attacking threat. And it worked. Jota's impact was immediate. His movement, his link-up play, his clinical finishing, that late equalizer was a moment of individual brilliance, but it was also a testament to Slot's tactical genius. Jota's return is massive for Liverpool. He adds a completely different dimension to their attack. His movement off the ball, his ability to find space in the box, he is a nightmare for defenders. And you could see how much that goal meant to him. That celebration, the emotion, it was pure joy. Okay, let's head up north now to St. James's Park, where Newcastle hosted Leicester. And honestly, this was a bit of a one-sided affair. It was. And Newcastle were dominant from start to finish. They controlled the midfield. They created chances. They looked like a team on a mission. Jacob Murphy was the star of the show for Newcastle. 2 goals, performance full of energy and attacking intent. He was a constant threat down the flanks and deservedly got the plaudits. He was everywhere. And not just scoring goals. His movement, his work rate, his link-up play with Almiron, it was a complete performance. Let's not forget about the midfield maestro, Sandro Tonali. He was pulling the string, dictating the tempo of the game, spraying passes all over the pitch. Tonali is the real deal, isn't he? He's got it all. Vision, passing range, defensive awareness, composure on the ball. He's quickly become one of Newcastle's most important players. And his partnership with Bruno Guimaraes in midfield is just pure class. They complement each other perfectly. Guimaraes with his energy and tactical ability, and Tonali with his vision and passing range, it's a midfield duo that can control any game. And let's not forget about the other goal scorers, Callum Wilson and Joel Fitzgerald. They both added to the scoreline, emphasizing Newcastle's attacking depth. This win solidified their position in the top four and sent a message to the rest of the league that they are serious contenders this season. No doubt about that. For Leicester, though, it was another disappointing performance. They struggled to create chances. Their midfield was overrun. Their defense looked shaky. This was their first loss under new manager Van Nistelrooy, and it exposed some of the weaknesses that they need to address if they want to climb up the table. What was interesting was that little exchange between Van Nistelrooy and Almiron after the match. Could this be a hint of a potential transfer activity? Almiron hasn't seen much action this season at Newcastle, and Van Nistelrooy must just be looking for some attacking reinforcements. Allegedly. It's definitely a storyline worth keeping an eye on in this upcoming January transfer window. You know how these managers are always thinking about their next move, especially when they're not happy with the current squad. Okay, last but not the least, we're heading to the City Ground where Nottingham Forest continued their impressive form with a 2-1 victory over Aston Villa. This win was a testament to Nuno Espirito Santo's tactical brilliance. He's turned Nottingham Forest into a well-drilled, organized unit that can compete with the best in the league. Their performance against Aston Villa was a masterclass in defensive solidity and clinical counter-attacking. But you know what blows my mind? Nottingham Forest are sitting in 4th place. Habibi gang, 4th place. They've exceeded all expectations. And this win against Aston Villa is just another example of their impressive form. They've already won at Anfield and Old Trafford, and now they've added a win against strong Villa, to their resume. It's incredible, isn't it? They're playing with a confidence and a swagger that's infectious. They're not afraid of anyone. And the City Ground is becoming a real fortress. I mean, the match itself was a roller coaster. Anthony Elanga thought he'd scored in the 81st minute, only to have his goal ruled out for offside by VAR. But then just a few minutes later, Milankovic, who's been in fine form recently, rose highest to head home the equalizer. Talk about a dramatic finish. You could feel the energy in the stadium after that equalizer. The crowd went wild, and then right at the end, Elanga, who had his earlier goal disallowed, redeemed himself with a brilliant finish to secure the win for Forest. Talk about a storybook ending. Nuno's management has been a key factor in Forest's success. He's instilled a belief and a fighting spirit in this team, and they're playing with confidence and swagger. It's amazing what he's done with them. They've got this great blend of experience and youth. They're solid defensively, they're dangerous on the counter-attack, and they're playing with the fearlessness that's really exciting to watch. This win against Villa is another statement of intent from Nottingham Forest. They're not just a surprise package anymore. They're a genuine threat to the established elite. I'm so excited to see how far they can go this season. But remember, this is just the beginning of our episode. We've got so much more to discuss. Stick around as we break down the tactical nuances, the key takeaways, and the storylines that will shape the rest of the season. You do not want to miss this. Okay, Habibi gang, we've covered all the crazy matches from Matchday 16 Saturday. But now let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. What are the takeaways? I mean, the unpredictability of this season has to be the biggest one, right? Who would have thought Ipswich would topple Wolves, or that Nottingham Forest would be sitting pretty in fourth place? This Premier League season is a wild ride, man. No one is safe. And it's not just the upsets. Look at Arsenal. They were looking like title contenders for, a few weeks ago, and now they're struggling to even score. Yeah, they definitely need to find that spark again. But hey, that's why we love this league, right? Every match is a battle. Anything can happen. And there are always tactical battles going on behind the scenes. And speaking of tactical battles, Nuno Espirito Santo's masterclass at Nottingham Forest was a thing of beauty. Honestly, it was. How did they manage to completely neutralize a team like Aston Villa? I mean, they're packed with attacking talent. Nuno is a genius, okay? He knew Villa's attack revolves around Watkins and Coutinho, creating a havoc through the middle. So he basically told his midfielders, you clog up those spaces, make them play wide where they're less dangerous. So basically they built a wall on the midfield. And then when they won the ball back, boom, lightning fast counterattacks with Ilonga and Iwani leading the charge, classic tactical setup. It's no wonder they're climbing at the table. Nuno's tactical flexibility is what makes them so dangerous. He adapts to each opponent, and that's the mark of a top manager. Speaking of tactical flexibility, let's talk about Liverpool. They were down to 10 men for most of that match against Fulham, but still managed to snag a point. Arne Slot's substitutions were key, especially bringing on Jota. Jota was a game changer, absolutely. He wasn't just scoring goals either. His movement, his ability to link up the play, he stretched Fulham's defense and created space for Salah and Diaz. It's like having Jota back unlocks a whole new dimension for Liverpool's attack. He is the missing piece they needed, okay? Enough about tactics. Let's talk about some standout players from this weekend. Jacob Murphy for Newcastle was on fire. 2 goals. He was unplayable down those flanks, just terrorizing Leicester's defense. And he was working his socks off too. Tracking back, defending, putting in real shift. Yeah, he was everywhere. But we also have to talk about Sandro Tonali for Newcastle. He was dictating the tempo in midfield, spraying those pinpoint passes like it's nothing. Tonali is something special. Vision, passing range, defensive awareness. He's got it all. He is a complete midfielder. And his partnership with Bruno Guimaraes is a joy to watch. I'm starting to think Newcastle could be the dark horse in this title race. They're looking really strong, aren't they? Solid at the back, creative in midfield, and clinical up front. Definitely a team to watch out for. And we can't forget about Diogo Jota. His return from injury was a massive boost for Liverpool. And that goal. Talk about a clutch moment. The timing, the importance of that goal. It was a real statement. It showed that even down to 10 men, Liverpool are still a force to be reckoned with. Okay, Habibi gang, let's switch gears now and talk about something else. That's always exciting. The relegation battle. Ipswich's shock win over Wolves has really thrown a cat among the pigeons. It's blown the relegation battle wide open. Ipswich were written off by so many, including me, but they've shown that they're not going down without a fight. What impressed me was their resilience. They knew they were up against it, but they never gave up. That's the spirit you need to survive in this league. And Wolves, well, they're in real trouble now. They're rooted to the bottom of the table and their performances haven't been inspiring. The pressure is definitely on O'Neill. He needs to find a way to turn things around quickly. Their defending has been particularly shaky. They've conceded way too many goals. Yeah, they're missing their defensive solidity they had under previous managers. It's going to be a tense battle for survival down there. But remember, Habibi gang, it's still early in the season, plenty of time for twists and turns. And that's what makes Premier League so special. You never know what's going to happen next. Before we move on, though, we have to mention the incredible atmosphere at some of these matches. The passion of the fans, the energy in the stadiums. It's what makes Premier League so unique. The Ipswich fans at Molineux were unbelievable, celebrating that late winner like they had won the title. And the noise at the City ground when Forest scored that equalizer was electric. He gives you goosebumps, man. The fans are the heartbeat of this league, okay? So let's shift our focus to the future. What's next? What are your bold predictions for the rest of the season? We've talked about the title race, relegation battles, standout players, tactical masterclasses, but you know what else has really stood out to me this weekend? The power of momentum. Momentum! It's like this invisible force that can make or break a team season. Look at Nottingham Forest. A few weeks ago, they were everyone's favorites to go straight back down to the championship. Now, they're sitting in the top 4, playing with this incredible energy and confidence. It's like they're riding this wave and nothing can stop it. But can they sustain it? That's the big question. Momentum can be fickle. It can disappear just as quickly as it arrives. It's a mental game now. Can Nottingham Forest handle the pressure, the expectations? I think a lot will depend on Nuno's spirit. He's instilled this belief in the team, this sense of unity and purpose. He's got them playing for each other, believing in his vision. If he can keep them grounded, focused on taking it one game at a time, they could achieve something truly special. But they can't get complacent. The moment they start believing the hype, that's when momentum can shift. So, what's the secret sauce? How do you maintain momentum? Is it tactical consistency, squad depth, or something more intangible? I think it's a combination of things. Tactical consistency is important for sure, but you also need players who are hungry, who are willing to fight for every ball. You need that collective spirit, that unwavering belief in each other and the manager. And let's not forget about the fans. The atmosphere at the City ground has been incredible this season. The fans are their 12th man. That home advantage can make a huge difference. Speaking of teams needing a lift, let's talk about Arsenal. They haven't looked themselves lately. 3 draws in a row. No goals from open play. Something is not clicking. They've hit a bit of a wall. Teams have figured out how to stifle their attack, and they haven't been able to adapt. Maybe they need some fresh ideas. Maybe they need to shake things up a bit. And that's where squad depth comes in. So, do Arsenal have the players on the bench who can make a difference? That's a question Arteta needs to answer. If they want a challenge for the title, they need to rediscover that winning formula, that attacking swagger that makes them so dangerous earlier in the season. Time is ticking though. The other contenders are breathing down their necks. Every drop point hurts. Alright, Habibi gang, as we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with this thought. The beauty of the Premier League is it's not just in the results. It's about the stories, the drama, the unexpected twists and turns. It's a league that keeps us guessing, keeps us on the edge of our seats, and that's why we love it. Don't forget to stay classy, stay sassy, and most importantly, keep enjoying this incredible journey called the Premier League. That's what it's all about, Habibi gang. The love of the game, the passion, the drama. Remember to subscribe to the Pundit Habibi podcast and tune in daily for all things football. I'll be back with more analysis, more banter, and more love for the beautiful game. Until next time, Habibi gang, keep it locked right here on Pundit Habibi. Peace out.